Okay. Okay. That's fair. That's fair. That's fair. Hello. It's me. I want to make a video that's a little different from what I usually do. I guess if I had to describe it, it's kind of a review slash slight analysis of a game, I guess. I don't know. It's nothing very serious. I just kind of wanted to make this as a little fun kind of project, I guess. You know, a little fun video to make, a little different. As well as to help promote something that I really like, you know? Well, just a demo. It's a game that shows passion, that shows promise, that just shows that special something, you know? But what is the 12-slot saloon exactly? The 12-slot saloon is an indie game created mostly by Mr. James Yavon. I'll have a link to his channel and also the game's official channel below, so consider giving them a sub. The game's been in development for a couple years at this point, with the demo being released around August last year. I found the demo around December of that year, I believe early December, if I remember correctly. The game takes inspiration from Undertale, and by extension Deltarune, Pokemon Mystery Dungeon, Earthbound, and Zelda's Majora's Mask. Also, side note, I tried to record this myself. It didn't work. You know, it just kind of came out as a void of black nothingness. So, unfortunately, I will have to use some other people's footage. I'll put their names up on screen. So yeah, go watch their videos. I will also be linking those below as well. With all that info out of the way, it is time we actually get into the game itself. The game begins with a story of a reaper of death. Just doing what death does until one day they came across one particular person who spent their lives devoted to bringing joy, to being there for others, and all around just being a decent person, you know? Of course, not even the kindest of souls are immune to mortality. And one day, they perished. We know nothing of this person, not their name, not their motive, nor what caused their demise. But what we do know is that during their time on this mortal plane, they had profoundly affected the Reaper, who had witnessed it all. Thus, the Reaper created their own world. And what was the purpose of this world? Why, to give mortals the chance for the happy ending they could never achieve otherwise. That's right, now everyone can get a chance to not have a life that sucks raw eggs, like me, you, and even this guy!
I wish I had absolute power to decide who lives and who dies.
Okay, maybe not. And all that was needed was an invitation by the Reaper themselves. This has been another edition of Overly Dramatic Story Time by yours truly. Here is where the game truly begins, with an encounter from the very Reaper we saw in the intro. And we've received an invitation, or more correctly, our main character. This cat thing, who's canonically named Fast Food. Do you have a dream? No. Dreams are for babies! Are you satisfied with your current world and your current life? I don't know, let me check the news.
A few moments later.
Okay, so I checked the news for about a grand total of, what was it again, 10 seconds? Yeah, 10 seconds, and, I can confidently answer that question with a resounding, oh, hell no! We will be able to enter the happy little world they created at a price of our soul. So sure, take my soul, I never really needed it anyway. I have no doubt in my mind that this is a great decision that I'll totally now regret in the next 5 and now I'm stranded in the middle of a desert. Sure, we may be in the middle of a random desert, but hey, there's this book here. That's pretty cool. We also meet this weird cryptic guy. Wait, 13? But I thought this was the 12-slot saloon, not the 13-slot saloon!
Boo! You stink!
Surely, and look, there's this random girl. Surely they can help us out. Never mind, they're just waterboarding me. You want to die? Don't tell me how to feel about being tortured, game. You can't tell me what to do. You're not my mom. And by the way, no, I have not skipped anything. This is literally how we're introduced to her. I love this game already. Though calling her the annoying girl does seem a bit harsh. I mean, we just met her after all. We haven't even really talked to her. So how about we just go down there and quickly introduce ourselves, and she's digging her own grave. I don't know about you guys, but normally I'd be pretty mad at someone if they tried to kill me. But this was an accident and not an intentional act of violence. So I'm going to just give her a pass. Anyway, getting back on track, we have ourselves a little chat with the annoying girl, though oddly she speaks to us as if we've already known each other, which is strange because, I mean, we just got here, so how would she know us? But it's probably nothing. It is here where we learn about cores. Everyone has a core. I mean, you have to replace that soul with something after all, to dodge some attacks. After that, the annoying girl talks to us a little bit more, with her saying the two of us should go straight back to the house, which is a strange thing to ask to the person that you, well... But we don't really have anything else better to do, so why not? Oh, look! A puzzle! I love puzzles! Like jigsaws, and crosswords, and Sudoku, and the meaning of life! They're the greatest puzzles of them all! These puzzles act as sort of a small tutorial, so I won't really be going over them, but I'll just say that they're pretty good. It's here that we also learn that this isn't just any normal turn-based RPG, oh no. It's a special one, a very special one. Why? Because it has a jump button. Truly the game's most innovative feature. I just don't see anything topping it. You also encounter the game's first field obstacles. In the demo there's two types, black and green. Battles also have black and green attacks, as you'll see later. Black attacks you will either have to avoid or jump over, while green ones are safe to walk through. Just don't jump over them. The full game plans to have a couple more other color attacks too, including red attacks, which you can't touch or jump over, and yellow attacks, though they're not really much of an attack and more of just a warning that a red attack will happen. A gasp! Oh no! There's a boy on that island, and it's surrounded by sharks! Don't worry, child, I'll save you! Oh. Let me just, What the fuck? As we continue further, we come across a hill, at the top of which we have another conversation with the annoying girl. She reminisces of the good old days, reminiscing about picnics, Ma's blackberry pie, and dumpling hijinks, the best kind of hijinks. You know, that's a great question. Better question. What was my wish again? For now, we arrive at the annoying girl's house, which is inside this cave or something. A bit weird, but hey, who am I to judge where people live? After all, I live in America. It's a nice place we got here. Bed looks pretty comfy. Got some books. It's a shame I'm deathly allergic to them. And you've got all these cool plushes. I mean, I'd buy that. And that. I'd even buy that one. And it looks ugly. Imagine if this tipped over and crashed on the floor. What I meant to say was, what a lovely tea set. Okay, that's actually pretty funny. Okay, enough messing around. It's time to make a cake, damn it. It's here where we enter our first battle, so now I can finally talk about the game's combat. And just by looking at it, I bet a lot of you are getting a strange sense of deja vu. Along with a teeny tiny pinch of existential dread because now you're realizing that Undertale is over 10 years old. Holy shit.
Space is warped and time is bendable.
The combat system is definitely where a lot of that Undertale inspiration comes from, but James did a really good job in my opinion making the combat reminiscent of Undertale, but not an outright clone. It still has its own uniqueness, its own flair and charm. You've got your attack button, of course, and much like any cat, you attack things by shooting them.
Today is fine day in California. Huh? Shoot!
The crosshair is controlled by the mouse, and to do damage you have to shoot the enemy's core. It's a very unique way to attack things in an RPG game. It also fits really well with the game's Wild West theming. I mean, saloon is in the title of the game after all. You got actions, for when you want a non-violent method of winning. Currently we only have 2 actions we can do, talking to her, and the other action is to eat some of the candy decorations of the cake. This action is the first real example of how actions work in this game, with most of them having a more mini-game style feel. You'll see later. There's core powers, which I actually didn't really use too much when I played it. There's this one cool healing ability, but aside from that, I never really used much of them myself. Okay, I know this is gonna sound crazy, but stay with me here. Okay, stay with me. But I think this is the only game where the act of consuming items during a battle can accurately be described as fun. It's important to note that this here HP number, it doesn't refer to how much an item gives you in total, it refers to how much each bite or sip of an item will give you. For any bites not consumed, they will be saved for later. It's a love you'll show. I can only show mercy. Doesn't do anything though, maybe later. It may be classified as the game's first battle, but really it's just some harmless baking. Well, mostly harmless anyway. It's nice getting to talk to her some more, learning some pretty interesting stuff. And this cake is looking to be a pretty tasty one. I mean, we got eggs, sugar, a dash of vanilla, some butter.
I don't like where this is going.
Oh, that's a nice knife you got there. You okay? You okay there? You seem a little more you seem a little more blue. You get it 'cause you're blue. Is it annoying girl spelled backwards? Oops. Oh, sweet baby Jesus, save me! Alas, I have been tricked. I have been fooled. I have been bamboozled.
Damn you! God damn you all to hell!
For our first battle, it's actually pretty intense. I mean, look at this shit. I just wanted to have some cake, man. For our first battle, it's actually pretty intense. All of you are probably wondering, what the hell is going on? Why is the annoying girl trying to kill us? Well, remember how not too long ago we were on that hill, just having a delightful little conversation, and how there was that whole part of the conversation that I'll save for later? That later is now. The annoying girl story is a tragic one. It's the sad, tragic tale of a girl who once had friends, parents, loved ones, memories and experiences shared with all of them, who just one day woke up and found it all stripped away, as if she was never born. Presumably, with nothing left for her, she was left to wander this world, confused, frightened, and alone. What does something like this do to a person? I can't even imagine the mental toll this must have on someone, knowing just how easy it was for them all to forget, questioning if anyone even ever cared in the first place, and then letting all those thoughts and feelings stir and stir inside you, until you're left with a pit of nothing but pure, bright rage. But why? Why was this allowed to happen? Why did the Reaper do this? Is the Reaper just a massive prick or something? Or is something far, far more sinister afoot? Whatever it is, if there's anything to take away from all of this information, is that something has gone terribly wrong in paradise. There may be nothing I can do to change her past, but what can I do here, in the present? A part of me just wants to end this poor girl's suffering, but there's another, much stronger part of me that wants to do the opposite. I want to apologize. I want to understand what's going on. I want to comfort her, and I want her to know that I do care, even if I can't remember. But no matter what I say, it seems that, unfortunately, she's just too far gone to be reasoned with. Perhaps this is all just a pointless waste of my own time. It would be just so much more easy to just give up, to give in to nihilism, to give in the violence. But I just can't. I don't want to. Because what I truly want is this. She's gone. Her home is now abandoned and barren, with most of the furniture and other possessions gone. And what does remain are old and broken. This could be the result of the raging fire in the background, but maybe this is what it always looked like. There isn't much left for us here, besides two things. There are two slices of cake, one for us and one for her. And in this room is what appears to be some kind of TV, enveloped in a glitchy mess. Interacted with, we hear a conversation between two people. One of the individuals is unknown to us, but the other individual sounds just like the annoying girl. You know, this whole place kind of feels like a double-edged sword now. I mean, like, on one hand, you get everything you want. On the other hand, if you die, you're fucking dead. Like, forever. You know, I'm gonna be blunt. If I was making a place that was supposed to just be like, you know, sunshines and rainbows and whatever, I'd probably get rid of death. Just like, the ability to die in general. Because, I don't know if you've noticed or known or experienced it, but death isn't usually something people find happy. Well, I mean, unless it's someone that deserved it. Like Jerry, that bastard. bastard! A small detail I think is worth noting is that the term grown-ups is used, which usually is something a child would say, which I suppose does make sense. I mean, she is called the annoying girl, not the annoying woman. Although, actually, now that I realize that, that means that all this is happening to a child. What the fuck? And yes, I am just going to pretend that the TV didn't just disappear when the conversation ended, because I don't know why the fuck that happened. This game has a lot of mysteries, and I'd say the biggest is definitely who exactly is the annoying girl. We have some pieces of the puzzle, and some of them connect, but they don't all connect, and there's also some missing, and I'm pretty sure I accidentally flawed one. Sorry. Also, by the way, she's basically gone for the rest of the demo, which just makes her even more mysterious. I mean, where did she go? Was she a ghost? Was she a soulless ghost? But despite that, I think there are enough pieces of the puzzle that we can connect together to, you know, form a little narrative, you could say. Trust me, after I wrote this script, I came up with this, like, big old theory that I'm going to share with you at the end of this video. There are still some things that I have no answers for, like all those plushes, which I'm just going to spoil it here. All the plushes are of a character either in the demo or planned for the full game. And no, I don't know why. But, yeah, she's definitely important in some way. Outside, we find some text carved into some stone slabs. They seem to have been written early on in this world's existence. For the sake of time, I'll just say that these panels seem to support the idea that, at least at some point, this place was pretty
Okay.
and everyone was happy, and everyone got what they wanted, and everyone wasn't traumatically traumatized for the rest of their life. And on top of all that, the creator of this place gifted everyone, well, pretty much everything you need to survive. All for the little price of just being happy. Which sounds like a pretty cool deal. I mean, who wouldn't be happy? Why hold on to the sorrow of the past when you have an entire world to build upon to make truly better than the horrible hellscape you came from? There's no room for tears in this place. Only bliss and harmony is allowed here. Always suppress your negative emotions, kids. It's a great idea that will never backfire ever.
My name is Jon Johnson. I live in Wisconsin. I work in the lumber yard there.
If you have a keen eye, you might have noticed that the text keeps mentioning the multiverse. That's because that's what the people of this world call the creator, since they had no name of their own. Now you're probably thinking to yourself, but what about the Reaper? I thought they created the world. Make up your mind, James! Well, looking at the multiverse's bio, not only can we see that they look exactly like the Reaper, but it also calls them, but the text also calls them the Reaper. The. As in this specific Reaper. Could it possibly be that there are multiple Reapers? I mean, the people invited to this world are from different universes, so I dare. Wait, what? Oh, I didn't mention that little fact. Oh. Okay. At the end of the path, there is one final panel. One that looks much different from the others. It reads: the gates are closed. The multiverse is not granting any more wishes. No more dreams will be coming true. We all give our apologies to anyone wanting an invitation, and we also apologize for those who've received one. Maybe, by some chance, the plan we've set into motion will succeed, and we can all have a happy ending. And beyond it is a sign. Welcome to the land without happy endings. That lying bitch. I've been bamboozled yet again! Ah! This makes me so mad! Don't you agree, random hooded guy? Oh, wait, that's the guy from earlier. This is the White Wolf. And boy, does this guy have some important stuff to say. Again, I'll just summarize, but I want to make a quick note. I do recommend watching this dub of this scene. It's really good stuff. Go check it out. But to sum up, basically, as you can probably already tell, this world is kind of going down shit's creek without a paddle or a boat. Really gross. And what's at the end of shit's creek? Something bad, no doubt. He tells us about how everyone who's made a wish upon the Reaper are now having their dreams being twisted into nightmarish realities. We also learn that we, i.e. fast food, have lost their memory, and also that fast food and the wolf were once good friends. But who cares about that because— what am I gonna do? Well, don't worry, because this guy's got a plan. Basically, we gotta fix what's been done, and hopefully find a way to give everyone their happy endings. You know, that's a lot to ask of someone. I mean, aren't you going to at least— oh, he's gone. Okay, so that was a lot of info, and very important info at that. We now have a clearer picture of what's going on. Not the full picture, but we do have the basic idea. There's something corrupting this world. Now, could be some other Reaper to blame, if we go by the multiple Reaper idea. But it could also be something entirely different, so maybe there isn't a second Reaper, and the multiverse being referred to as the Reaper could be because that's just what they are, or were. Maybe it's like a job title or something. I think this info also gives us a massive clue on the mystery of who is fast food and the White Wolf, especially the fourth lab, which I think was written by the White Wolf himself. I'm gonna save some more time, so I'm just gonna put up the reasons why here. With this evidence in mind, I believe that the two might have been responsible for this world's protection in some way. Kinda like guardians, if you will. But why? And did they have a life before this? Or were they created solely for this purpose? Is there anyone else besides them? We don't know. In fact, I could be wrong about all of this. But I think I've talked about this enough, so I'm just gonna finish by saying, I think the entirety of what we've played so far of the demo does an excellent job setting up the game's main plot, conflict, goal. It does well at making you actually want to help everyone. I mean, you saw what happened to her, it was fucked up. I think it's definitely because of the structure and how everything progresses. It's a bit hard to tell that from just watching the video, so totally go play the demo. Speaking of, while this does seem like a good conclusion for the demo, it's not the conclusion. For being a demo like this, it's pretty massive. How massive? Oh, you know, not that much, just 4 hours.
My goodness!
Okay, real quick, gonna take a quick break. All this thinking nonsense is giving me a
monster headache.
Fun fact. Did you know there was once a man named James Jess Strang who went by the title the Mormon King of Beaver Island? Yes. No, I'm not gonna give you any context. Okay, we're back. And look, it's our first enemy, a pebble snake. Hello, Mr. and Mrs. Pebble Snake. You remind me of dry leather. Well, that was fun. Okay, bye. This is Puppy, and he is another important character to the game. His bio describes him as a quick-tempered pup, a good friend when you get around the rough edges. Puppy, much like everyone else, claims to know us. But not only that, apparently we're the ones that told him to come here. Why? For a challenge of wits, of course. And with such an intelligent face like that, I have absolutely total confidence that we are 100% screwed. We have to go through 4 different challenges, and I'll begin to those challenges in a moment. Because I just want to reiterate, go play the demos, because this video is mostly focusing on the story and gameplay, and a lot of the stuff like puzzles and all the flavor text and, you know, just all the stuff will be skipped over, for the most part. Anyway, I feel like I should probably get myself prepared for this challenge of wits, because it really sounds like something that's going to really test my mental faculties, and if you haven't guessed already, I don't really have too many of those. I just ordered something that no doubt will help sharpen the old noggin, or something like that. It'll be here in about a couple of minutes, so I guess I should talk more about the general stuff about the game. Well, let's start with the sprite work. It's really good. The game is in this top-down 2D style, and everything from the characters to the random interactable objects to the attacks are all really well drawn and animated. The game's art style is inspired by the Pokemon Mystery Dungeon series. I haven't played the game myself, but I probably should because it looks pretty fun. It's also a very cute art style, and in scenes like this, it's just beautiful. Some of my favorite sprite work is definitely for the little boxes when the character is talking. It's something directly inspired from Pokemon Mystery Dungeon. They're really good at conveying emotion, or in the case of this scene, automatically makes it doubly funny. The battle sprites are also really good. The animation on them is very smooth, and for mostly just being heads, they do a great job representing the enemy. It also just adds some more charm to the game's battles, because it's a pretty unique and original style, and all the environmental stuff does a great job at keeping the environment from feeling bland and boring. Not to mention all the flavor text, which can be pretty funny. I personally prefer grape flavored text. Even repeated objects like these boxes, which are basically the same sprite except different sizes and sometimes their direction is changed, they all have their own flavor text. Well, all the interactable ones at least. What's in the box? What's in the box? What's in the box? Come on, James, what's in the box, you big red train? There's a lot of NPCs you will come across, and I really like them. They always have something to say, and you never know who you're gonna find. There's humans, there's animals, there's all these other guys. There's even this fish woman, whose only child is stuck on this roof. Don't worry, ma'am, I'll save your child. I think my job here is done. Stuff like this really adds that extra charm and personality to the game, and also makes the world feel more lived in. The music, really good. The music was done by Hajil Cave. Sorry if I mispronounced that. My favorite is definitely the main battle theme. If you want to listen to it all, it's all on the official 12 Saloon YouTube channel. It's really good. Big props. Okay, I can't think of a good segue into the next thing I want to talk about. So... enemies! The enemies are found hanging around the overworld. When you're in close enough range, they'll start to run after you. And if you get caught, you enter a silhouette battle, as the game calls it. Hence why all the enemies look like, well, silhouettes. The game has a couple different enemies, 10 in total. These are the pebble snakes, as seen earlier, the brawly cactus, angelic vulture, the caramel, stonebra, crazy co, screaming sand, lamb shanks, loose hair, last and definitely funniest, lost Christmas tree. These battles is where the game really shows off the more mini-game-like ways actions are used. Basically, every enemy has a unique action with a unique minigame, and they're all varied and unique. Sometimes you might need to dodge like 10 punches, or use notes to make a song and then have to play it. You might have to count some sheep, or decorate a tree, or lick a caramel. It keeps these battles from being boring and also just adds a little extra character to these enemies. I mean, you can just like avoid most of them, but that's what cowards do. I'm a brave boy. I don't run away from my enemies. Oh darn, I'm dead.
Not a brave enough boy for this!
I haven't brought this up yet, but there's actually a third way to win encounters. When you bring an enemy's health to 0, you have the choice to either finish the job or spare them. On the surface, it seems a bit redundant. I mean, if you're going to spare them, then like, why don't you just spare them? In terms of the demo, I don't really think it does much, but in terms of the full game, I'm pretty sure it will. Maybe in some way it can kind of be like the neutral route, a sort of middle ground. Like maybe if you do that, you get half the EXP you normally would if you just killed them.
Friendship. Fatality.
You're not a vicious murderer, but you're also not above using violence. I think it'd just be a cool idea that adds a little extra depth, you know? Yes! My How to Be Witty guidebook has arrived! Let me just, Okay, now that I have consumed this book's knowledge, I think I'm more than ready to handle any challenge you give me, puppy. So come on, show me what you got. Aha! Aha! I see! A gun duel! Very witty indeed. Whoever presses the button first wins. Okay. Oops. Sorry about that. I'd offer to pay for the damages, but I don't have any money in my pockets, or a wallet, or a credit card, or pockets. And also I'm a cat. From here I'll be skipping straight to the encounters with Puppy for time's sake. The next time we encounter Puppy, he's gotten himself into a bit of a sticky situation. I'll help you out, and hopefully this will turn out better than the last time I tried to help out someone. Eat your heart out, Power Rangers. Now it's time for the second challenge. I'll admit, I'm not the sharpest tool in the shed. In fact, it could be stated that I'm both the dullest and rustiest one. But I don't see how this is supposed to test my wit, man. Why are you leaving? Get back here, you damn coward. Oh well, we haven't anything to worry about. After all, cats are fireproof. Just don't breathe near them or else you'll get cancer. Or am I thinking of asbestos? Neat.
I'm invincible! I'm a god!
The third challenge is the writing essay. The only challenge so far that could be classified in any way as involving wit. Okay, time to use all that digested knowledge.
A few moments later.
Okay, done. Truly a literary masterpiece. So what do you got? That's actually pretty good. Will admit, bit concerned about that ending bit, but other than that, it's pretty good. I'll give you that.
What the actual fuck?
Okay, final challenge, and it's a race. But we'll also have to watch out for pits. Unfortunately for you, Puppy, there's an old saying I live by. Run, run, run as fast as you can. You can't catch me.
I'm the gingerbread guy.
Yeah, I did it. I am now the wittiest boy alive, and the rest of you can suck it. But perhaps the true wit were all the children we accidentally maimed along the way. We find out who it was that Puppy thought we were at the beginning, as he takes out a letter written from someone named Lou. In fact, you can forget all about Lou because he's never mentioned again. Like at all. So it was all just a big old misunderstanding. All is forgiven. Even that time you tried to burn me alive. Puppy then questions us if we've ever been to Saloon Town. Apparently he's from there, so that's pretty convenient. Do you have a place to stay? Buddy, do I look like a homeowner to you? He offers to take us there, and a place to stay for a while. It'll take a day's walk to get over there, but without any better leads, we agree. Not only that, but Puppy joins the party! Welcome aboard the SS sample text here. Puppy will now join us in battles too, giving us an extra turn. It's also noteworthy that when doing actions, he'll act on his own, usually resulting in some stuff like this. puppy, you lovable goober. There's something about his personality and slight incompetence that is just really endearing to me. Kind of reminds me of Mike Dawson from Darkseid. The guy from that joke earlier.
These leather-bound books remind me of my book collection still in storage. That's kind of unsettling. What a quaint general store with a little bit of everything for day-to-day existence. This is the inside of a police station.
Especially in Darkseid too.
Fine. Just walk away. I hope the boogeyman gets you. Mom, why didn't you ever tell me that my closet door was never really locked?
Oh my goodness, Mike, that was years ago. Don't tell me you've been afraid of your closet since then.
Hey, you missed, pal.
And yes, I did just compare these two characters because literally no one else on planet Earth ever will. And there's something special about that for me. Although admittedly, Mike is definitely a bit more of a dunce.
Oh yeah? It sure sounds like everyone else did. She dressed up in leather for the mayor. She was doing the nasty with Doc Larson. But nothing for poor Mike. Makes you mad enough to kill, doesn't it?
Oh no! I think I'm really in trouble.
Also, this is the last time I'm going to say it. Please go play the demo for yourself, as I'm about to go over what is my personal favorite moment in this entire demo, and a moment that really shows the true promise and potential this game has, and something that's Bear experienced firsthand. After solving some more puzzles and encountering a couple more enemies, we arrive at an area with a bunch of different people. At the top is a branching pathway. Heading right will continue our path to Saloon Town, but going down the left path we find another pebble snack. The one we saved from the sharks earlier, and totally didn't give brain damage to. Their name is Little Timmy, and apparently his mother has locked him outside the house, and won't let him in until he gets some, quote, super hard work done. Not only that, but his mother also won't feed him until the work is done, and apparently he's been out here so long that if he doesn't get food in the next 15 minutes, the poor bastard's gonna freaking die! We have to help him with the gardening. Rock gardening, specifically, because apparently that's what they eat. It doesn't take long for us to be finished. Before we have time to contemplate if this implies every pebble snack is a cannibal, the boy's mother appears. And as it turns out, no, she isn't an abusive harlot. Rather, her son is a sneaky lying twat, who just tricked us into doing all the work for him, which means he wasted the one thing more valuable than money. My time! She grounds the little snot and offers to make things up by giving us some dinner. You are given the choice on whether to stay or continue on your adventure, but I've got the time. The whole world about to end thing can wait. Inside we meet the rest of the family. Grand Pebble, Jason, and Big Tim. We have ourselves a little chat with the Grand Pebble, who tells us the story about where they came from, their original home, their old world. You see, on their world they were known as monsters, who many would slaughter, not because they were bad or did anything wrong, mind you, but rather because it made them stronger, being ground up and massacred for EXP by the so-called heroes of their world. Until one day, like everyone else here, they were met by the multiverse, promising that in their new world there would be no EXP. And as a bonus, they got a wish. And what they wished for was the opportunity to be useful. That wish took the form of the mines this house is currently built over. They would mine for rocks and sell them to a place called the Highlands for use in construction. But unfortunately, in recent times, their mining tools have begun to break, and even worse, their supports are beginning to fall apart, meaning the mine itself is at risk of collapsing. Due to this, we are asked once again to lend a helping hand, paw. As in order to afford replacement tools and support beams, the family had to take out a massive loan, and now need help to mine as much rocks as possible to pay it off. Agreeing to help, we entered the mines, and they weren't kidding about those supports. Apparently little Timmy was meant to replace the support beams and didn't. How surprising. While the family goes to mine for rocks, we have to stay behind and help load these mine carts. Also, we apparently find a rock that looks exactly like my face. I have no idea how this could in any way benefit me in the slightest, but it is a key item, so I guess it's important. Loading the carts is similar to when we were helping with the garden, but with all new blue shiny things. They're shiny, blue, and the perfect shape to chop birds in. But as we finish, Oh, dearie me, the support's broken, the mine is collapsing. Foreshadowing strikes again! The replacement supports are being kept in the vault upstairs. We get the code and now we have to make a mad dash up the stairs in a tense and an exciting race against time. Oh. Shit. This caught me completely off guard the first time I played this, and it's truly the most shocking moment in the entire demo. Especially when you realize that the moment those supports failed, their fate was sealed, and you can't undo someone's fate. There's nothing you can do. There's nothing that I can do. But is that really the truth? Are you really going to accept that? Are you truly satisfied with this timeline? No! No!
Objection!
No! I am not satisfied! Not in the slightest! And you know what? I know exactly how to fix this! Because yes, there is something we can do! We already know what we need to get, and how to get it! So all we need is more time. And I know exactly how to do that. I hear you cry. What are you on about? What's done is done. You can't just give yourself more time. This man is a lunatic. Insane. A fruitcake. A
Crazy man.
Own it!
Haha. You may think I'm crazy. And I mean, you'd kind of be right. But little did you know, I've been anticipating this moment. Because what I'm about to show you truly sets this game apart from the rest of the indie game crowd in my eye. Something I've never seen any other video game do before, at least not in this way. And what we need to do is manipulate time itself, like this.
Take that!
Yes, this is actually a mechanic in the game. And not just that, it's the game's most biggest and important gameplay mechanic. That's right, James
Crazy man.
He even did the unthinkable, and made the uses of save slots itself an important mechanic. Anyway, what were we talking about? Yes. Go, fast food! Go! Run as fast as your stubby little cat arms can, you magnificent bastard! Hooray! We did it! I'm so happy I'm only slightly enraged Timmy gets all the credit for some reason. But who cares, because everything is great now. Everyone is alive, no more debt because everyone is rich. James, I don't think that's what a diamond looks like. Congratulations! You've witnessed the good ending! All of this was a part of the demo's first and only side quest. Or as I like to call them, optional tales. These are planned to play a major role in the full game. Basically how they work is that each one has a good and a bad ending. And usually in order to achieve the good ending, you need to get the bad ending first, and use information from that, like for example a code, to change the people's fate. and give them their happy ending. Of course, you can't just get the bad ending and not do anything about it, or just straight up ignore them entirely, but these optional tales will have effects and consequences on the game, along with how you deal with enemies. This adds a lot of replayability and freedom for how you want to play the game, and this optional tale is a perfect way of showcasing this, as well as just being a very enjoyable moment in the game. It has a good length, its writing and structure is great, again, getting a glimpse into what some of these other worlds are like. The one talked about here kind of reminds me of Moon RPG on the PS1. I did notice something very strange though. We are told that the multiverse promised that this place wouldn't have any EXP, but what does it say when you win a battle? EXP. Was the multiverse lying? Or were they telling the truth? And somehow EXP has infested this land. And it isn't really a negative thing, and more of a minor suggestion that I personally think would enhance the story a bit. That being, I think Timmy should have a bit more involvement. Specifically having him being the one to actually put up the supports instead of us. Kind of like a small redemption arc. Plus it'd be a nice parallel to the two endings as well, with both outcomes resulting from Timmy's actions. It's also admittedly kind of weird that after getting grounded, Timmy doesn't do or even say anything aside from in the bad ending. I mean, he doesn't even say anything in the good ending. I think it ought to be a good way to add a little extra depth to his character. Like, maybe the reason he hadn't set up the new supports wasn't because of laziness or the like, but instead maybe because he just legitimately doesn't remember the code, and doesn't ask what it is, possibly from like embarrassment or shame of his past behavior. And if you want to add a little extra depth, you could give a more sympathetic reason for why he's been acting like this at all. Like maybe he thought of self-doubt or fear of messing things up, hence why he tries to get out of any work. Again, just something I think would enhance it a bit more, make it even better. I'm very excited to see how James uses this mechanic in the full game. This is a truly interesting idea, which has a lot of creative and fun potential. Wait, you can do that this whole time? Whew, what a day. A bit more traumatic than I would have hoped, but still an all-around good day. I think I'll take a cat nap. Ah, my tibia!
Is it your fault to act him? You won't like what you will find. You won't like what you will see. You won't like to see. It's so funny. Everything is crashing out of time. You think you'll be good. Everything will disappear. Everything is going to end.
Welcome to the Dream Realm. Within the first few seconds of being here, we meet Lament, the guardian of this place. Oh, and also Puppo. Let's not forget about Puppo. Puppo's such a wonderful character. The best character, honestly. My favorite. Everyone's favorite. Isn't that right, Puppo? Classic Puppo. From his introduction, we learn a bit more about this place. And as the name implies, this is where everyone's dreams come from. And it's Lament and Puppo's job to help people within their dreams. Whatever this entails is never specified, though. However, this is not why they're here, because we're not even dreaming at all. We've rather fallen down here, and now we need to get the heck out of here. Interestingly, we're the first person to have fallen down, as far as Lament knows anyway. Lament reassures us that we shouldn't have much of a problem getting out of here. After all, we're from the real world. When Lament says this, it seems to upset him in some way, before quickly and nervously changing the subject. Continuing forward, we... Oh dear. I think the game might be collapsing in on itself. According to Lament, these weird anomalies have been occurring here recently. It's become so frequent, in fact, that it's actually started to occur in the real world. Neither Lament nor Puppo really know what the deal with them is, or really what to do with them, but Puppo does have an idea on how these can be useful. This is where we're introduced to a new puzzle mechanic, and it's brilliant. Let's go over this puzzle, shall we? Okay, so how this puzzle works is that there's one lever that opens up this gate. Unfortunately, there's another gate on the other side that can only be raised with the same switch, which will then just lower the first gate again. So what do? Well, I'm gonna let you guess. Go ahead, I'm gonna give you like 10 whole seconds. The answer is to use the save spot, flip the switch, reload using one of the F keys, and then voila! You can pass on through! Or in other words, these objects do not abide by the laws of save states. That's right! Not only are save states a vital part of the story, but they also have an actual gameplay mechanic for puzzles! See, this is exactly why you should always support your local indie game developer, alright? You'd never see any of the big boys like Nintendo or Microsoft or Sony or any company like that make such weird, awesome, unique, cool, fun, the type of games that can only exist in the indie game space, right? Like if you were to pitch a game like this to one of them, you'd probably be kicked out on the grounds of being a nutcase. Every puzzle for the rest of the demo here on out involves this mechanic, and they show it off wonderfully. The concept is simple and easy to understand, but has so much potential for some really cool, awesome, and challenging puzzles, and I'm really excited to see what James comes up with. It's a bit weird that Lament seems to be the only one so far to have actually acknowledged the fact that we can use save slots to do this. I mean, the White Wolf kind of alluded to that, but never actually said anything about save data, but Lament does, which is really weird, especially because we just met him. So the question is, how does Lament know about this? Or actually, how does Puppo know about this? Before we leave, there's a secret path that leads to another room. And it appears someone's been living here. But who? I guess we'll never know. Examining the area, there are audio tapes strewn all over the place. Even entire boxes full of these things. There's also a radio too. This somehow seems to be important. However, you can't figure out how to turn on the radio. Now I actually thought this was a TV at first, and that these were VHS tapes, because apparently I can't read. In my defense though, that does kind of look like a TV at first glance. Especially that other radio before with the glitch static, since it kind of made it a little hard to tell. Speaking of radios, Why do they look exactly the same? And come to think of it, that other voice out on the radio sounds a bit like Lament now, doesn't it? Is there something you're hiding, Lament? We just met like 5 minutes ago, so it'd be pretty rude if you were, dude. Just so you know. You might have noticed all these objects have been covered up by like a white cloth, which might be some kind of symbolism for suppressed memories or trauma or something, but I don't know. I'm not that smart of a guy. I'm not Matt.
Hello, Internet!
Interacting with them gives you some pretty odd text. There's an old sweater in here. Its color is one you're familiar with. Faint ticking noises can be heard behind you. There's a sock you don't remember in here. Heck, some of these don't even make any dang sense. Like, for example, there are books on this shelf. All of them are not on the shelf. And there are old objects in here that feel like somewhere. Honestly, I'm not even sure if that one's a typo or not, but if it is, that should totally be left in. I love it. And stuff like the nonsensical text and the background of endless pillars. I really like the Dream Realm's design. There's a lot about it that really just emphasizes the whole dream thing. It's very bizarre and strange and a tinge of eerie. Also, is it just me, or do those pillars kind of look like random thought, but do you think the multiverse is a gamer? Or wait, actually, did they actually create this place? And if so, why did they need to make this dream realm? And if they didn't, then who did? And is it only connected to the land without happy endings, or is it also connected to every world? I'm unsure of this, honestly, but I'm leaning towards it being linked to the land without happy endings, though. Hey! Don't touch me with your tickle fingers! Go on, get out of here, shoot! We learned some more info about Lament in the Dream Realm. To Lament, the Dream Realm is a cold and lonely place, with no one else other than Puppo to accompany him. Well, it seems like there's other people here. They aren't actually real, they're just manifestations of people's dreams, of other people. Of people like you and me, he says. This phrase, along with him earlier saying how he woke up in this world, implies to me that Lament isn't from the Dream Realm, but rather from the real world. If this is true, then who exactly is Lament? Where exactly did he come from? Why is he here? Why was he chosen to be the Guardian? Was he even chosen? And if he was chosen, then why him specifically? Or was it the role he was forced into? Despite all that, Lament seems relatively okay with all this, content with his role as Guardian. It's a lonely one, sure, but in Lament's own words, even when those lonely thoughts start to hit me, I can't help but remember. I remember I can still help people in the real world. I can make sure that they're safe, no matter what realm they're in. And just by doing my part, I feel connected to them. Like, despite being forever apart, in some way, I feel like we're together. And maybe that's all we really need to have a happy ending. It's a very optimistic and hopeful outlook, that no matter how lonely he is, knowing that he has the power to help others and make a difference comforts him, even if no one else will ever know of his existence. In a way, it's almost a parallel to the annoying girl. Both, or in Lament's case, theoretically, had lives of their own before having it all taken away, leaving them all alone. One was left hopeless, broken, and driven to madness, while the other remained optimistic, possibly being one of the few remaining rays of hope in this dying world. This even makes the radio conversation between the two even more interesting. There's even some parallels between Lament and fast food. Both have similar goals, but are separated between realms. And remember that weird moment with the statues earlier? You might not have noticed, but there was a figure reflected below us. And who was that figure? It was Lament. A literal parallel. Lament ends the conversation by warning us that, since it's nighttime in the real world, we'll start to run into people's dreams. And it doesn't take us long to find these dreams. We find another entity, the shadows. Thankfully, they seem to be much more friendly than those other guys. These specific shadows seem to be children, all of them happy playing in a playground. That is, except for a singular child on a swing set. Alone and sad. We find presumably the same crying child in the next room, their head pressed up against the door, one which leads to nowhere. Upon getting closer, a short cutscene plays. We have zero context for what we just witnessed, or why we did. What this cutscene represents will make more sense later. As we continue to explore the dream realm, solving more puzzles, we encounter the Shadow Child a couple more times. I'll be giving a summary of each one. In the second encounter, we find the child in a bed. When he notices us once again, things start to go awry. The child exclaiming, begging us to not take them away again. The room becomes engulfed in flames, and running downstairs, we are surrounded by even more wreckage, also engulfed in flames. And in the background, a large fiery beast begins to rise. In the third encounter, we find the child on the ground, surrounded by more burning rubble, but also barbed wire, with loud banging sounds echoing in the distance. The last encounter is when we are heading toward the exit. Before that, though, we have one last conversation with Lament. It's about the boy. Everything we've been witnessing is a part of their nightmares. Neither quite know what these dreams represent, but Puppo believes that these nightmares aren't just nightmares, but rather the endings of the land without happy endings. Though Lament isn't quite sure if this is true or not himself. When I read this, it reminded me of what I heard earlier when we were talking to the White Wolf. He said that people's dreams are being corrupted into nightmares. And I think he meant that literally. I believe that dreams and wishes are directly linked. This is proven even more when looking back at the intro. This soul forever changed with the Reaper. They wanted to share in this dream. And so the Reaper created a world where dreams can come true. And the cherry on top, what is the little first thing we were asked before we entered this world? Do you have a dream? Do you have a dream? Not a wish. Dream. This world isn't built upon wishes. It's built upon dreams. While writing this, I accidentally stumbled across a book called The Interpretations of Dreams by Austrian neurologist Sigmund Freud. Who's Sigmund Freud? I don't know that important. There's an article about the book on a site called Simple Psychology, which states, Freud proposed that dreams are a form of wish fulfillment. They represent the desires, thoughts, and motivations that our conscious mind represses. Or in a summary, all dreams, in some way or another, are an expression of an individual's wishes. This is why there's a dream realm to begin with, because every single wish that was ever granted by the multiverse was born from the dream of a better life, something shared by everyone here. If this is true, then couldn't nightmares be brought to life too? I mean, if everyone's happy endings are born from dreams, then perhaps bad endings are born from nightmares, which is probably why the realm needed a guardian to begin with, to keep this from happening. But why is everyone having nightmares to begin with anyway? I mean, everyone should be happy, right? Well, from some quick research, I found that nightmares are often caused by things like stress, anxiety, fear, but also trauma and suppressed emotions. This makes lines such as these take on a whole new meaning. Combined with what we know about why everyone is even here to begin with, everything starts to make sense. While the multiverse did have good intentions, there was one thing they never considered. The more to lose, the greater the fear. This is what Puppo meant. While their happy endings are given life through their hopes and dreams, their bad endings are given life through their own growing fear of losing what they have been given, only made worse by burying every sad, hopeless, and traumatic memory of their past. I'm not saying this is the case for everyone here, but it is implied that this has been happening to a lot of people, and it's only a matter of time before these bad endings reach their peak. This is just my interpretation of what's going on, though. And I get the feeling that there's still something, or someone, pulling the strings here. Before leaving, though, Lament gives us some parting words. Whatever happens, we have faith that you'll make the right choice. If it isn't clear by now, that child, it's Puppy. Now there's a lot to unpack with this revelation. Secondly, why is he so convinced that we are going to be responsible for making this nightmare a reality? I'm not sure. But forget all that because we don't have time for questions right now because we need to find Puppy. Small note, I really like the background. The background is very beautiful, and the music in dimmer light really just ties everything together. After encountering a few more enemies and solving our final puzzle, we come to a very long path. Dozens and dozens of guns are sticking from the ground. We find Puppy, knowing the possibility that his nightmare might just come true. Puppy is now determined to stop us. To stop the bad ending we'll bring. It's final boss time. And oh boy, it's a doozy, people. Cause Puppy ain't screwing around. This man's out for blood. Let's all just be thankful he doesn't have one of these bad boys. In all seriousness, I love this fight. It's a great way to end the demo. It has a good amount of challenge, but it's not too challenging. And also, the fight's just pretty intense. I mean, he shoots a minigun at you, for goodness sake. A minigun! Where do you even get that? Having our ability to show mercy being stripped away, it seems like there's no other option but violence. However, just because we can't resolve this with mercy, it doesn't mean we have to resort to violence either. Yes, we are literally at the end of the game, folks, and we're still getting new mechanics. My gosh. Wit and mercy are just 2 of the total of 7 different ways to show love, the rest being planned for the final game. I'm excited to learn more about how these will be used, because this seems like a mechanic that would be pretty fun. Using our wit, we are able to notice that the pillars around us are weak, and that they're holding up some sand. If we are able to break these pillars, we might just be able to cause them to fall on top of Puppy. So if a couple well-placed shots later, bam! Well done, champ. You did it. As the dust settles, we're left with one last decision. Will you leave Puppy for dead, leaving him to a no doubt slow demise, miles away from the loved ones that he'd killed to protect? Or are you willing to show him compassion and prove his nightmares wrong? We finally made it! Saloon Town! And it's a lively place, full of all kinds of folks who probably have a lot to say, but this video is getting way longer than I expected it to be, so we should probably just get to the saloon already. Inside we meet Samuel, the bartender and owner of this fine establishment. I see he gets some of his fashion sense from Crazy Dave from hit mobile game Plants vs. Zombies. We have a little talk, get ourselves a drink, and he offers us a place to stay for a while. We're then introduced to Samantha, Samuel's wife and Puppy's adoptive mother. You could have fooled me. Since we're at the end of the demo, we don't really get to spend much time with them. I'll just say that I can't wait for the full game, because these two are a very adorable couple, not gonna lie. And they just seem like fun characters in general. Anyway, we eat some dumplings, Puppy doesn't fully trust us yet, and the demo ends on one last beautiful shot as we pan up to the sky. I hope by now you can see why I love this game, and I hope I was able to do it justice with this video. Again, I wish I was able to use my own footage. I'm going to try and figure out why Bandicam didn't work, and hopefully I can eventually get fixed. But in the meantime, please go subscribe to the channel I got the footage from. If not for their videos, this video probably wouldn't even exist. But what does the future hold for the 12-slot saloon? Well, I've got some good and bad news. As of now, the game is currently on hold. You see, James made a Kickstarter for the game earlier this year, and unfortunately it didn't meet its goal. Shout out to the 2 people who donated $3,000 though. It's a shame, because I and others really want this Kickstarter to succeed. By others I mean people from the 12-slot saloon Discord. You should totally check it out, a lot of cool peeps there. And James also really put the work into getting the game out there. Even getting his game shown in an RPG Direct. I even went around suggesting the game to a bunch of people for a while, along with some other indie games, because why not? Also, the creator of Mustruck has a Ko-fi too, so consider supporting that as well. I specifically suggested to people who would probably actually be interested in it. I wasn't going to like the comment sections of a random pie baking tutorial telling people about this game. That'd be weird. In fact, I kinda went overkill with it, like a lot. I'm not sure what the total number of people I suggested it to was, but I'm pretty confident saying it's something like about over 2,000. So if you ever saw or were one of the people that were recommended this game by some random person, that was probably me. And if you checked out the 12-slot saloon or any of those other games, I hope you enjoyed them. And whether you did or didn't check them out, I hope you're having a good day anyway. Of course, since the Kickstarter ended, I've mostly stopped doing it. I can't just do that forever. I do have a life, you know. Even if it doesn't really seem like I do. Plus, I realized that what I was doing could kind of come off as a... Well, have you ever heard of this tabletop RPG called Centaur? Well, let's just say it's not really a liked game. Not really just because of the game itself, because the creators decided to go onto this a old forum for tabletop RPG fans, and went on there to kind of promote the game, except they didn't say that they actually made it and pretended they were just random people who were fans of it. And when people did find out about that, it's Old Man Centaur! They naturally didn't take too kind to that. Yeah, that. And I really did not want it to come off like that. James made a video talking about the Kickstarter and future plans, which I recommend watching for yourself. There's only really 2 main points that I want to bring up here. 1, James plans on doing a bit of a rework for the demo to make it better and improve it after receiving some feedback about it. So some things in this demo may be changed or altered or even possibly removed entirely. Who knows? Perhaps he'll add some of those
silicon graphics computers.
And also, he's working on a smaller game to help improve his game-making skills. There's a small little demo currently available on the Discord, and I won't share anything about it here since I assume he plans on talking about it in a video of his own. But I'll just say that it shows some promise. Also, it's called Orphan Simulator. While it's sad the Kickstarter failed, it's nice to see that it hasn't deterred James from making the game. It's very obvious that this is a very big passion project, and not just for James, but also for Hajio Cave and Mo. All 3 are siblings, by the way. I haven't mentioned them yet, but Mo helped with some of the Kickstarter artwork. By the way, even if the Kickstarter ended, you should totally check out the Kickstarter anyway, just for the art. It's pretty good. High props to everyone. I truly hope you all enjoyed watching this video, and that maybe it convinced you to consider supporting the game and its creator. And with that, I only have one more thing to say, and that one thing is...
Hey, bada bing bada boom, nasty prostate condition.
I see you stuck around. Congratulations, you've seen past my attempt to bamboozle you. You see, I do actually have one final thing to say, and it's a theory. So prepare yourself as I cram a fistful of knowledge cakes down your gullet, because this theory is going to blow your mind. You see, I believe that Lament is the son of Samuel and Samantha. All 3 of them wear green clothing, they all have green eyes, Heck, even Lament and Samuel's clothing have a striking resemblance to each other. This could also explain why there are 2 beds in Puppy's room to begin with, because that second bed originally belonged to Lament. But that's not all, as I also have an answer for another question. What's the relationship between the annoying girl and Lament? The only thing that links them together is that conversation from the radio. But when and where does it take place? Well, considering the 2 of them are talking to each other and know about each other, I believe that this takes place before the annoying girl made her wish. I believe this is indicated by the last thing she says, questioning if making a wish would be really worth it. From this we can assume that this takes place before the wish, and also before she sold her soul, and before she even ended up in this land to begin with. Except that can't be. From what I can tell, the moment you make a wish, you immediately end up here. So how could she have gone back to her family after making the wish, if she was in an entirely different world? Not just that, but Lament also mentions a Mr. Stanley, who knows about cores and stuff, implying that this is taking place in the land without happy endings. Because I assume information about this place and the Reapers and all that isn't really a common thing for people to know about. So what gives? Well, I think that the conversation takes place within the land without happy endings, but that the girl, and maybe by extension Lament, who knows, still have their souls. Was it even possible to be here without selling your souls to the Reaper? I don't think there's any information that necessarily proves or disproves this, so who knows. We know that for someone to get here from their original world, they have to sell their soul. But what if you were born here? Again, I don't think there's any information that does or doesn't prove that someone can get pregnant here, so... But then who are her parents? Is there any clues that can... No! It can't be! It's too horrible! Could the annoying girl also be a child of Samuel and Samantha? During the conversation when she's talking about her parents, reminiscing about the good old times, she mentions both dumplings and her ma's blackberry pie. And what are we eating when we're having dinner with Samuel and Samantha? Dumplings! In that poem Puppy wrote, it mentioned breakfast pie, made by his mother. And when we were getting a drink from Samuel, he mentions his favorite flavor is blackberry. Coincidence?
I think not!
Hell, there's even a framed portrait of Samantha in the annoying girl's house, so I can confidently say that she is their child, and by extension, the sister of Lament. And it's also heavily implied that she didn't always look like a cat girl, so perhaps before she looked a little more avian. Since Poppy is adopted, and given how his nightmares is about losing his family, so I think it's pretty heavily implied that whatever his wish was, it was something to do with having a family. And what parents would be the best candidate? The ones who lost both their children. One being forgotten, and the other dragged to another realm.
But hey, that's just a theory. A game theory. Thanks for watching.